Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Advisor with Stacey Chillemi. And today I'm very excited because we have a very special guest today. It is CarolAnn Tutera, and she is the co-founder of Sotopella. And she is an amazing individual. Not only is she an amazing individual, but she's part of our podcast community. She has her own podcast on our channel, and she is just an amazing woman with an amazing story to tell. And she also wants to talk about today about dating yourself and just, struggling with loneliness and stepping out into the world and really being able to boldly step out and go into the single life again after you have gone through the grieving process and after losing a loved one. So, CarolAnn, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. I love having you on the show. You are just an amazing person. Tell everybody a little about yourself and what you do.
Thank you again for having me. I am the co-founder of Sotopelli. We're a training company that teaches providers how to use pellets for hormone replacement therapy. My late husband, Dr. Gino Tutera, is the founder and the reason for putting pellets out there because a physician came to him in the early 90s that said, "Hey, how'd you like to help put in a pellet?" And he said, "Sure, but what's a pellet?" So he started working with them. And unfortunately, that physician passed away right after he trained Dr. T how to put them in. So, with the common sense that he liked to practice with, he realized, wait a minute here, not everybody wears the same size dose.
Mhm.
So he started shaving down pellets, giving everybody individualized dosing. So you can actually say that he revolutionized the hormone world using pellets. Now, I've carried on his legacy because I think he's so deserving of being the guy who actually put pellets back on the map. So I'm carrying it all on in his honor and blessed to do so.
I think that's wonderful. Now, both of you were married a very long time, right?
We were married 22 years,
Wow.
and I knew him probably over 25 years. Yeah.
Wow. Now, when, you had lost them a little while ago, and it must have been really tough for you. When you're with someone for so long and you've known them for so long and you spend so much time with that individual, you don't realize it, but both people become one. And when you lose your partner, it really is. I've never gone through it, but I just know by other people speaking about it that it is such a hard process to you never get over it. The grieving, you grieve, you go through the stages, it seems, but when, just from losing people in my own life, you never get over the loss of a loved one. You just learn how to cope with it. But for you, how was the struggle, of losing someone that you spent so much time with, you built this beautiful company with, had many memories with. It must have been such a hard time in your life to overcome.
Well, as they say, the struggle was real. I
Hmm.
wasn't sure I even wanted to keep the company going. I even had thoughts of selling it because we built this together. He was the front of the house, I was the back of the house, you might say.
Yeah.
The woman behind the man, and it was challenging. You live together, you work together, you go eat together. Literally, we did just about everything together.
Right.
So it was a lot. It really was, and it took a while to get over.
Now, today you talk about, after the grieving process and after you started to like, move forward in life and you started to get your life back into order, you talked about, the dating yourself. And what did you mean exactly by dating yourself?
I have learned recently how to like myself and how to love myself.
Yeah.
I grew up in a household that my father basically believed that girls should stay home and be married and not work. So when I got out of college, I married my college sweetheart. We were married for 7 years, have a beautiful son together, got divorced. I was single with a son. Then I met Gino. Then I was married to him for a long time. And then bam. I had two dogs.
Right.
And then I got into a relationship with someone who was on and off. And then I lost a dog last summer, and I'm down to one who has dementia, who I don't even know if she knows me anymore. So I'm starting to see the fact that I'm really going to have to learn to live on my own. I've always taken care of somebody. There's always been somebody, something around for me to take care of. And that's who I am. I love doing that. But I lost myself in the process in all those years.
Yeah.
I would always put myself on the back burner, would not follow through with my heart's desires, my callings, my yearnings of what I wanted to do. So this is the time I've been learning to really strip away the layer of the onions, as you
Yeah.
say, and
Hmm.
get to know who I am and what CarolAnn is about and who is she, what is she like, what she doesn't like. It's different. I'll tell you, it's a little challenging, and it was for a long time, um, to even walk into my own country club by myself.
Right.
I go to a happy hour. I'm religious every Friday night because
Hmm.
I love seeing the people there. I've
Right.
got a nice group of friends. Took me a while to get that because I'm the newbie to the club, the area again, coming back home to Scottsdale
Hmm.
and being basically one of maybe a handful of single women in a group of over 400 people. It's
Hmm.
odd.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel right sometimes.
Right.
And it's been 3 years, and I still struggle with, oh, I don't want to go. I don't want to walk in by myself again. Everybody's a couple. And it takes a lot of mental talk to get through it.
Yeah.
And you have to put one foot in front of the other. And it's like a friend of mine said, go, you'll have a good time. Just get out there. You can leave when you want to. And
Yeah.
ended up having the best time of my life. So, yeah, it's great fun. Now,
I think that's wonderful, though. I think that's wonderful that you took a courageous step. A lot of people they get stuck and they stay in their homes and they mourn and they don't, and they get very depressed and they lose the quality of life. And you didn't do that. But the one that you said in the beginning of the conversation that I thought was so meaningful is that you mentioned how you needed to find out who Carol Ann was. And there are so many people out there that don't know who they are. They've lived life for their loved ones their entire
mm,
life. They've lived the dream of their loved ones. They brought that dream to life. But in the process, they lost themselves because they never spent that quality time to learn who that person really was. How did you do it?
well, I'm a product of that generation who gave up. I saw my mom stay home for 5 kids. She
Yeah,
didn't work. I took that on myself. My dad told me you're supposed to get married. You don't get to have a profession. I don't want you in the family business, which I would have been great at, mind you. But I took on that belief that women are supposed to stay home and take care of everybody else. So when I started to realize, wait a minute, it's like on the airplane. If I don't put my mask on first, I can't take care of anybody else.
yeah,
So I've got to take care of myself. And what do I like? What do I want to go and do? I've got that freedom now, being able to walk out the door. I know
yeah,
my dog's okay and go do what I want. Now, have I accomplished everything I want to do as a single person? Have I traveled by myself? No. I don't like getting on even flights by myself because sometimes I struggle with just putting the suitcase above. But 9 times out of 10, I find a friendly flyer who will put it up for me.
right.
Um, do I go to dinner or lunch by myself? Not a lot. I can do it. I've told myself I have to accomplish it. I've got to get over that hurdle.
Yeah,
Thank God we have phones. I think in past times people took books to read to keep
right.
them kind of busy and entertained. It's kind of unique in a way that I get to look around, not have to worry about making conversation, and I get to observe and experience what's going on in the restaurant. So
Right.
from that perspective, I'm an experiencer, which is kind of nice. I just get to take it in or
Yeah.
not.
I love it. I love it. As you moved on and you learned to love yourself and you learned to accept yourself for who you are and you moved on in life, stepping out into the world and as a single woman, what challenges did you find?
Well, I think the biggest challenge is, first of all, being a woman. Yeah, I'm a very strong woman, and a lot of people think I'm a New Yorker. I'm not. I'm just a very strong and strong-willed person.
Yeah.
Um, so people back off, or they don't want to have anything to do with me, or if I come across very quiet, because I can also be very withdrawn at times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm outgoing and I draw within. So I'm kind of a little bit of both. I know there's a
Hmm.
word for that, but can't pick it out of the sky right now.
Yeah.
So if I'm quiet, then they think there's something wrong with me instead of just allowing me to be me.
Right.
So it's, I think it's a challenge just being a woman because we all know this is a man's world, but
Yeah.
we're working on getting that changed.
Right.
Um, and just believing in who you are and standing in that moment and knowing I'm okay with myself. You
Yeah.
don't like me? It's not my problem.
Right.
And it don't take up space in my brain, and I'm not going to worry, oh my gosh, did I say the wrong thing? Oh, what are they thinking about me? Not my job.
Right.
That took a long time to learn.
Yeah.
It really did. And I listened to an incredible guy every morning when I walk, Michael Singer. Man, that guy, he's got it. He knows why we're here and what we're supposed to do. And all we're supposed to do is work on ourselves and be happy. Just
Yes.
enjoy yourself every single day.
Right.
So that's what I really achieved to get to that point.
Right. So even with your successes, you focused on being happy. When you finally got to that point, like you lived life, for your husband's dream, because that's the way you were taught. That's the way you were brought up in your generation. But then you went to this you found the real Carol Ann underneath, and then you started living life the way you wanted to. And now that you're living life the way you want to, so is it more like Michael Singer? Is it just living to enjoy life and not worrying about, financial needs or not worrying about the business so much, but just being happy? Is that like your main
Well,
goal?
that's kind of his motto. You just have to worry about yourself. You get to experience life. You've got all this garbage inside where your brain's just constantly moving and going. You've
Yeah.
got to learn how to turn that off. You've got to learn how to turn a negative thought into a positive thought. Man, we've got a lot of work to do on ourselves.
Yeah.
This is not easy. I'll be
It
the
is.
first one to tell you.
Yeah,
It's not easy.
for sure.
And I think with the fires in California, it really has given me a new attitude of gratitude. I can go plug my phone in. I have a
Mhm.
bathroom I can use at my disposal. I have a refrigerator, a roof over my head.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about where my next meal is coming from. I don't have to worry about if I had kids, where are my kids going to school? Where am I going to put them so they're comfortable?
Yeah.
Boy, this should be a wake-up call for a lot of people to realize it's not about chasing the dollar. It's about yourself and being grateful for what is in your life right now, because there are so many from that fire who do not have anything but the clothes on their back and might have lost their car to begin with, too.
Right. No, it's so true. It's so true. Sometimes we lose, we lose fact of what's important until we actually lose it. Sometimes the littlest things in life could be so meaningful until you actually lose it. And then you realize how valuable it was. And then it's too late.
That's right. Absolutely. And the way I view this as we came here all to have all these different experiences, and your soul experiences are different than my soul experiences, and their soul experience, they all had to go through the fact that they lost something, and what does that mean to them?
Yeah.
And I tell you, I'm just blessed being able to sit where I am and realize if my biggest job is to be joyful every day, that's pretty, that's pretty good. I
Yeah.
can be grateful for that. I really
Right.
can.
Right. What would you say, like, for people who really want to move forward in life and they, there's so many people I know that had lost someone and they feel so lonely and they live life, and they push through it, but they're deep down inside that pain still lies within their heart. What's your advice of, how to cope with losing a loved one?
Well, the pain's always going to be there. It's funny. I was just talking to, how we all talk to our loved ones who passed. I was talking to Gino
Mm.
early and said, I really need your help with this. I'm tired of these things falling apart. Um, you just know that they're a part of your heart still and that they're there for you. And it
Yeah.
takes time. Everybody's timetable is different. I can't say that you're going to go through the 6 stages of grief faster or slower than me. That's up to you. Like my mom taught me, you pull up your pants, you get your boots on, and you put one foot in front of the other, and that's how you do it.
Yeah.
There really is no magic mystery pill to take that puts you on the other side and where you go, I got that one down. I'm good.
Yeah.
As soon as you say that, you're gonna have to experience it all over. You've got to get the lesson out of it for sure. And
Right.
it's tough. It's tough losing a loved one. And then it's tough getting to know who you are because you have no clue who you are.
Right.
My life was wrapped up around his.
Yeah.
I was busy building this company with him. He was busy seeing patients, but I was busy on the background doing all the building of it.
Yeah.
And whew, that can be something to take on. It really is.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, absolutely. And
It,
you do it without the person that you had by your side, and you wonder if you're doing it right. And then you wonder if you want to do it with somebody else. If you start dating again and at my age, close to 70, uh, no thanks. I think I've had it. A dog
uh-huh.
is a great companion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we'll see. I'm open to what the universe throws at me. Let's put it
Yes.
that way.
Right.
If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. So I'm building up a nice group of girlfriends and people at my country club that I can commune with.
Yeah.
I've got my son and his family and a couple of grandkids, albeit they're on the other coast, but they're there. And I
Right.
know he's always there. So,
I think it's important, when you have loved ones around you, it's very meaningful. And like you said, if it's meant to be, it will happen.
right.
And it's when you don't look for something is when it usually happens. It's when you put too much emphasis on something and you're consistently trying to look for something or
Oh,
look for someone. I think that's when the stressful emotions set in. That's when the frustration sets in and you don't find what you're looking for. But I think it's always when we don't look for things is when they appear, it seems like.
I completely agree. Completely 100% agree. Yeah, absolutely. And then you've got to be open to it. I know there's a part of me probably that comes off as, back
Yeah.
off, whatever. So I'm just not ready.
Right.
I really am enjoying my space, my time, my life, and getting to know me.
Yeah.
Too bad it's not a course in school because I really think everybody should be taught to get to know who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, and starting at a little age because children grow up as their parents do.
Yes.
So, if they did something, the child picks it up and it's like, not really liking that behavior or that thought or that belief. It takes a lot to unwind it. It
Yeah.
really does.
No, it definitely does. You grew up in a certain environment and you sometimes just take on the behaviors of that environment, not even realizing if it's a good behavior or a bad behavior. It's just what you were taught. And then you go on, in life. And sometimes, as you get older, some of those things we pick up aren't really that great for us. And we have to learn, what are the good habits, what are the bad habits, and break them, those bad habits, which aren't very easy to do. And especially when you go into relationships too, a lot of times where our habits and the way we do things are set in stone already. And a lot of people, as we get older, we don't really want to change. We're kind of set in our ways.
That's right. Absolutely. And how many bags are you bringing to the party? Because
Yeah.
I don't have that many bags. I think I've done a good job releasing a lot of my baggage. I really
hmm
do.
hmm
But a lot of people haven't. They don't take the time to work with someone to get to know who they are. And those are the kind of people I love to be around, those who
Yeah.
like to work on themselves.
Right. Those are the best people to be around because they bring you up. They raise you up. They support you. They encourage you to be the best you could possibly be, to reach your full potential because they believe in better in yourself. And
Right,
that's the kind of energy you want around you.
right. That's the kind of person I would want in a partner. You know, I've been around the people with a lot of money, and if they lose their money, what happens to them?
Right.
Easy come, easy go, and they're not the same person they were after they lost the money when they had the money.
Right.
So, got to be careful and choose wisely. That's why you have to know yourself.
Yeah. So if you had to say, in a couple of steps, what is the best way for someone to begin to learn who they are?
For me, it was working with a therapist.
Hmm
I think that's really important to do because not only do you get to know yourself, you start releasing all the garbage that you've brought along the way.
Yeah.
My late husband had a great saying that as women, we've got this big, big purse. I mean, it's like a trash bag size. We throw everything in there. And when we need something, we know exactly where it is and where to fish inside and pull it out, and we're going to prove you wrong. So I've done a good job on releasing all of that. I think it's important also to write and to journal. Journaling, you'd be surprised at how much your stuff starts to bubble up and come to the surface.
Yeah,
And the attitude of gratitude. I know it's out there and people use it a lot, but it really works.
it does.
It really does. It makes a difference in your day-to-day life. You can just step back and be grateful for the smallest thing. I'm not saying, oh, thanks for the new car, God. This is fabulous. No.
Hmm
I'm talking about being grateful that you have legs that work,
Right.
that you have a healthy body, that you have a brain that functions well. And
hmm
that list can go on and on. That took a long time to learn. That really did.
It's a process. It's a painful process too. When you're healing yourself and you're going through and you're doing all these great things, you're also releasing a lot of those emotions from inside that you repress. Like when you're journaling, those thoughts come up, you know.
Right.
And some of them can be painful because they bring the tears, they bring back memories. And it's overcoming and learning how to heal. And the healing process is what the painful process. But once you heal, it's a everlasting joy.
Right. And it's okay to cry. Unfortunately, I'd be able to look at someone and be sad and smile at the same time. I had
Yeah,
a therapist years ago point that out to me. I could not put the two together
right.
until I finally learned, hey, wait a minute, why am I smiling and laughing when I don't feel that way on the inside?
Yeah,
So it hooked up, which was great, and it's okay to cry.
yeah.
I mean, I cry at the end of books if they're warranted. I cry at movies if it's warranted. I don't care what the person sitting next to me thinks. This is my world and my shoes, and I'm walking in it. And if it feels good to release it,
Good
whether it's
for
happy
you.
or sad, it just feels good, and it's okay.
I think that's wonderful. I think that's so healthy to feel like that. Now when it comes to solar pellets. I know for me, like I've done hormone therapy for many years, and I know that it has helped me so much. It helped me with my clarity, it helped me focus, it helped me with my moods, it helped me with a lot of things. Do you think, using pellets, because I know you're an advocate of it, not only are you the co-founder, but you use it also. Have you seen a huge difference in how it's helped you function as an individual as you've gotten older and your hormones are now?
Oh, I don't think I would have gotten through the grief if I did not have the hormones from the pellets. Absolutely not. It kept me stabilized. Not to say I didn't feel things, it's not a
Right.
mask of emotions, but I didn't take those high roller coaster highs and lows. It really helped a lot with my mood swings, with my night sweats, with my thought process. I couldn't do it any other way. Even today, I'm so blessed to be able to have known that he discovered this and what it does for people.
Yes. I think when you have balanced hormones, everything functions so much better and you have more energy and clarity and focus and your moods are more balanced and it's to me it was like a life-changing experience. Once my hormones were all over the place and they got balanced, it was like it took a little time, but once everything's, got balanced, I felt like a new person again. And I felt younger too. I felt more vibrant, more energetic.
Right, right. You feel like your insides are finally connecting up, which is really nice. And then once you have that mental clarity, you're going to start feeling more of that joy and calmness and balance in your life that is really what it's about. It truly
Yeah.
is. Because it's amazing how many times we drive a car and there's a person in front of us not going fast enough, and here we are yelling and screaming at them. Well, they
Right.
can't hear you. So why are you doing that? What's the big deal? That's where the pellets come in, that it just, okay, you're balanced out. Well, you're going that fast. All right, I'll just sit back and enjoy the ride. And that's
Right.
what it's about. It truly is. For me,
100%.
it is.
No, I agree 100% with you. Now, how does solar pellets work?
Sotapelli is a method where we train others how to use pellet therapy. So the pellets are placed under the skin. It's done with an incision. Of course, we numb the area like going to the dentist, and then it's numb. They're placed under the skin and they are slowly released through the bloodstream. So as the heart pumps faster, the bloodstream speeds up. It goes by the hormone pellet like a kid licking a lollipop.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they are.
I love it. And you said it's like every 3 to 4 months usually is when you.
Women, yeah, women replace, just like you put car in a gas, you drive it, runs out. You do the same thing with the hormones. Women are usually seen between 3 and 4 months, 3 to 4 times a year. Men are seen twice a year.
Okay. Now, your services, like what services do you provide? Do you provide the pellets in the training process, or do you send them out to clinics and then you help people find where they're located in your area?
Oh, all of that. So we have our own clinics in Arizona that Dr. T started. Those are still running, where we do basically nothing but hormone pellet therapy. That's Tutera Medical. Then we have the other side of the company, Sotapelli, that trains physicians all over the world on how to use the pellets. So you're able to find a provider on our map of who we trained in your area. The
Okay.
reason we put them up there is because the name Sotapelli is so well known. It's the gold standard in the industry. We're not overdosing, we're not underdosing. We dose very conservatively. We follow you along the path with a lot of blood work, because you cannot treat somebody with hormones without doing blood work. Just like you go see your heart doctor, he doesn't know how much to give you of a heart medicine if you don't do blood work. It's the
Right.
same philosophy. So we place our doctors on the website for you to find, so you know they've been properly trained.
I love it. I love it. Now, with today's conversation, if you had to emphasize on some important factors, what are some things you really like to emphasize to the listeners?
I think it's important in regards to pellet therapy, always get a baseline lab.
Mhm.
First thing you do, even if you don't think you're in menopause or perimenopause, do yourself a favor, go get your base labs done. You've got a starting point. So you can track that, if not yearly, every couple of years.
Right.
That's what's important. I also suggest it's really important to find out who you are. There are so many books out there and so many people willing to help to find out who you are. It's an incredible journey. It
Yeah.
really is a lot of fun to discover who I am.
Yeah. I love it. It took me a while, down my journey to figure out who I actually was. But once I figured out who Stacey was, it was a life-changing experience. And it really makes you feel good about yourself. It brings confidence. It brings, like you said, you have acceptance, you have love for yourself, that confidence sets in, and you have this energetic fire in you, once you go through that process. And I could see it in you, as I talk to you. And it's wonderful. It's a
Yeah,
wonderful.
I love working on myself. There really is nothing more fun to me than discovering who I am.
Yeah. And I think, you know
That's,
what? I think there's always there's always room to discover more. Sometimes we think
oh,
we know it all, but we learn more things about ourselves all the time, I think.
right. I think when you know it all, you're going to be horizontal and sayonara. See you later. So I'm real happy to know I have a lot more to learn.
Right. I agree with you. Now, where can people find Sotopelli?
Our website is Sotopelli Therapy, and I'll spell it because it's a tricky one.
Mhm.
It's S as in Sam, OTTOP as in Peter, ELLE therapy.com.
I love it. I love
Yep.
it. Now, can people find you on any of the social networks, or that's the best place to go?
Oh, we also have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, so we're part of the social media world.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Now, before we go, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
I think that's good. I think we had a great time. I love sharing about who I am and what I do. Um, we'll wait and see next time what brings about for us to share.
I love it. Well, this has been amazing, Caroline. I love having you on the show. You are, a ball of fun, and you have your wits and knowledge is just unbelievable. And I commend you for everything you've gone through in life. You were the backbone of the business, and you really, you went through some really harsh times, and you overcame them. You rose above the chaos. You overcame your obstacles, and you turned your husband's dream into a reality, and the legacy lives on. So, I really commend you for everything that you do. You are a wonderful person, and I really, really honor what you do.
Ah, thank you so much. I'm honored.
You're
Very nice
welcome.
words about me. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Well, you have a great day, and I can't wait to see you soon.
Thank you. You too.